everyone can change the ending of the story. Would it be a happy ending or would it be a sad ending? Will depend on you. Okay? I have been living in Chengdu for more than 30 years. That means 3 decades. I was a tour guide. My job was to guide the foreign visitors who visited Chengdu. Chengdu may come across to many as slow and laid back. I have always been a language lover. I love English. English is my major in college. But it was not until I almost graduated that I realized travel was something I should do. It was one time that I helped a foreigner finding his way in the street that I realized, well, that's where I can use my language skills and expertise. So when these two combined, tour guide was obviously the best career choice for me, something I liked a lot and something I was good at. I'm good. Until next time. Bye. When COVID broke out, I was not in Chengdu. I was in Guangzhou actually, enjoying my vacation. But as I came back, I realized, well, there was something wrong because everything seemed to shut down. Airports, train stations. Our clients all canceled their contracts with us. And there was no compensation because it's not their problem. So we're really hopeless, like we were at the end of the hope because people were not coming back and our clients were not giving us any signs they could resume their trips. So we had to call an end. I just came back from Guangzhou. My mom and my dad also came back from where he worked. So back in together, we didn't know how long that we had to stay inside. 2 months after the breakout of COVID, I knew that I had to find something to do, have to reinvent myself. Otherwise, I will just go out of business and I'll be having no income. I was quite desperate at that time.
Welcome to EnglishClass101.com's English in 3 minutes. The fastest,
Online
easiest,
teaching
and
started
most
to
fun way
gain
to learn
popularity
English.
because students were not allowed to go back to schools, but they had to have classes. So that some online platforms at that time started to become very popular. A few weeks later, one day, one of my friends called me. They said, hey, we got an opportunity of online teaching, and do you want to give it a try? I said, well, why not? What is it? And then he said, it's online teaching for Chinese citizens, senior citizens. And I was like, what? It's unbelievable at first. That one thing you wouldn't know that online teaching would become a reality for Chinese senior citizens because, in my opinion, they didn't know much about the internet. They have trouble working out their phone. They have really poor eyesight. They have to wear glasses to look at these characters well. So how come online teaching becomes so realistic to them? Right, this is the first thing I found really surprising, confused. And the second thing is why English is a subject. I thought that was a trap. I wanted to see if this is a real thing. My very first class, I was very anxious and worried. How am I going to present my English class? How am I supposed to prepare? I talked to my parents. I said, do you want to try being my students as well? And they say, yeah, and we can help you promote my class to their friends around. Okay. Hello! Hi everyone! Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see my face? Can you see my face?
Very nice. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Kun. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everybody.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. The numbers don't lie. It was an increasing number of students who joined the class.
My English name is Friske. I study English because I like it. It makes me understand the different countries.
Retired Chinese citizens, they use much of their time traveling around in huge groups, right? When the COVID is over, what if you can travel outside again? Maybe you can use some of what you learned from my class. And that, in that way, I think they really find what they could learn.
Excuse me, can you help me? I need to exchange some money.
Good question. The best place to go is right outside of the airport.
My parents, they say, well, I really like your class, pretending, they were like my random students. They were like spying, so that was fun. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
So my mom was born in 1963. She'll turn 60 next year. And my students happen to be at the same age as she is. For this generation, they had very little exposure to foreign languages. If they learn Russian instead of English. Back in mid-1990s to early 2000, as a result of the opening up in reform, where China joined the WTO, that means the country is opening up to the rest of the world. English was quite in demand.
From my point of view, as a teacher, I consider English as a tool of communicating with the world, not only America, but the whole world.
I like to listen to Taylor Swift. You know that? You know her, and the Ed Sheeran. So I have interest in English. So for me, and that's the most important reason I choose the English major in my high school.
Don't forget class talk.
One interesting thing I noticed is my students, most of them were pretty familiar with one line, that is, never forget class struggle. Like my mom still remembered that, even though she had no any other English language skills at all.
Never forget.
Chairman Mao popularized this slogan, meaning that the proletariat, working classes, should fight against the capitalist classes.
好险，好险。
Online teaching become more accessible on mobile phones. You can sign up, choose from all the different subjects, finding your favorite ones and sign up for that. What sports do you do, by the way?
I like doing Tai Chi because the epidemic in these days I don't doing Tai Chi. I just take a walk along the Yellow River.
So now I have about 100 students who learn English with me on a regular basis. My students are retired, aged from 50 to 80. They are all well educated, but they had little background with English.
I'm a senior college students.
Senior college. I like that. We're all students.
My hobbies are traveling, Latin dancing, and learning English. I want to communicate easily when I travel abroad. My son is living in San Francisco.
Oh, your son is living in San Francisco. Wow, good.
I often go to San Francisco.
My son lives in Australia. When I visit him, I can have simple communication with local people.
Because my students are the same age as my parents, so I understand that their children are also one child. We are all the only ones in our families. So if they told me that their child is living abroad, obviously they will feel empty. So they figure that learning English could help them when their child abroad is in need. They can travel abroad like thousands of miles to just assist their child with other household things. I mean, yeah, it's quite emotional somehow.
来，掌
月
声。
亮双栖蝶双飞，满园春色惹人醉。悄悄
I miss you.
问声
I miss
这
your
月
voice.
美
I
不
miss
美
your
的
smile.
女
I
儿
miss
美
your scent.
不美？
I miss your hug.
说什么望
My
穿
daughter is
不
Canada.
归。
To learn English
把
is
什么结
very difficult.
情
It
归？
is. Learning English is very difficult. Yeah, I agree.
I miss you. I love you today, and I will love you to rest of my life.
They understand living abroad is no easy thing, right? They came along all the way, so that's Chinese parents.
好，就这样唱了吧。哎，感谢昆老师，感谢昆
So
老
a
师。
lot of people after retired, they're not isolated from the groups or their community. This is a very typical feature about Chinese society. That is, we're very collective. A lot of times I overheard that people were chatting next to me. They were like chatting all about this gossip in the family, all these trivial things. They seem needed to find someone to talk to. Like my mom, she's now a very active learner using this online app.
可能学这个写字呢，确实是一个是喜欢，从小就喜欢。后来嘛，反正因为就是说工作啊、家庭啊那些也忙嘛，就没有咋个就是说，锻炼到自己的这些爱好这些。那现在退休了，再加上红松嘎，就给我们这么好个平台，哎，正好就把自己的爱好啊这些就是捡起来嘛。捡起来嘛，一个对自己的身心啊，肯定是有很好的帮助。
For me, that was a relief because at least she had something to engage and she is not gonna sit home, wandering or thinking wildly. That's better. If guiding helps me understand my hometown better, then I think teaching Chinese citizens English helps me understand my parents or people at their age. There is a generation gap between those born in 1960s and those born in 1990s because China is quite different and China grew so fast that things changed dramatically. So before COVID, because I had a lot of time traveling, I didn't find living with parents such annoyance or something quite you need to learn how to come along with your parents. We had more time together, right? I didn't go back to work. I needed support from them. So that made me rethink or reflect on my relationship with my parents.
learning English is our happiest thing, because it can make our retirement to life become more colorful.
And it may also reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's disease.
You are a doctor.
I'm the doctor. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And English is the medicine.